What's up, weirdos? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Felicia, and today we're talking about the 2010 film Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Oh jeez, whoa, Jesus.
Did you see the way those guys looked at us?
Who wants to go skinny dipping?
No.
We got your friend! Hillbillies.
They captured Allison.
Oh, it's the pancakes. You hate pancakes. I'm gonna make you something else.
Now, this is a horror comedy written and directed by Eli Craig, and this was his first feature-length film. It's about two nice guy hillbillies that are mistaken for two killers by a group of dumb college students.
Dale, what are you doing?
I'm digging a crapper hole.
You mind if I help?
He's making her dig her own grave.
Now, I'll go ahead and say I really enjoyed watching this movie, and if you like horror movies, you probably will too. The first thing I really like about this movie is that they make fun of the horror genre in really smart ways that if you like horror movies, you will find this movie hilarious. They use things like a group of young people showing up at a creepy gas station. It's the last gas station before they go into the woods for however long. They have a creepy, spooky cabin. All this kind of stuff that's like in a bunch of horror movies they use in this movie to like just make fun of it, and it's really funny. The second thing I love about this movie is the kills. The kills are so funny. They're so dumb, they're so out of nowhere, and they're really enjoyable to watch. I won't explain them right now, I'll get to them in the spoiler section. But all of them, like, there wasn't one kill that I was bored by. They were all just like such a good time. And the last thing that I loved about this movie is that it's got a lot of heart in it, which is a really nice balance for this like dumb, bloody movie. There's like a lot of heart in it. So the character of Dale, played by Tyler Labine, is just like the sweetest, most well-intentioned guy who ends up being the villain for these college students along with his brother Tucker. I love this character so much because we care so much about him, and thus we care about his brother. And in a really like dumb, loud, bloody movie, like a lot of times like likable characters, like you're not so interested in it, but in this one you're like really invested in the characters while watching them go through all this dumb, ridiculous stuff. The other thing that I love is that this movie has a moral to the story, like, which goes along with the idea of heart, right? Like, it's like the moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover, and I just think that's really sweet and a nice thing to come out with at the end of a very silly, bloody movie. So for the scare, giving it a 1. It's not that scary. I mean, it's structured in the same way a horror movie is, but I mean, it's such a funny movie. Like, every time a jump scare happens, you're just laughing. It's not like you're not gonna be freaked out or anything. The gore gets a 4. There is a lot of gore in this movie. There's a lot of blood, but it's so funny and smart, and I just love how they do the gore. It's really great, but it definitely gets a 4. And the cheese gets a 4, which I think they would say is an accomplishment. That's probably what they wanted for this movie. It's very silly. A couple of spoiler related things I liked about the movie. So one is that I love that the actual villain ended up being this like guy named Chad, who's this like psycho in a polo.
Time to die, freak.
From the moment he came on screen, his like collars popped, and I was like, yeah, that kid's crazy. I don't know why, but that kid's definitely crazy. And he ended up being the villain, and I thought that was a really smart idea. The second thing I love is that so Tucker and Dale, when all these kids start dying around them, they think that the kids have like this like suicide pact, and that's why they all came into the woods together, because they were all gonna kill themselves together.
It's a suicide pact. These kids are coming out here and they're killing themselves all over the woods.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
One of my favorite really small things is towards the beginning of the movie when Tucker and Dale are at the gas station, the college kids are there, and Dale is just like eating a bunch of pickled eggs, and it's such like a random moment, but it really like sets up a lot of the movie.
Oh, hot dog, Tucker, have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
It's sort of like gross but silly, and I just felt like that brief choice was just like, whoa, like that's what this movie's about to be. Pickled eggs. My favorite scene, I think, is pretty obvious, and that is the wood chipper scene when Tucker is like putting wood into this wood chipper, and then one of the college kids like goes to like attack him and accidentally jumps right into the wood chipper. Oh God, it's so funny. And then like blood spurts all over this blonde girl. It's so good. It's so ridiculous. And then my favorite line of this movie is just this vacation sucks. Like, the whole idea is that Tucker and Dale like really wanted to have a vacation home, and so they have this cabin they got, and they're like coming here to go fishing and all this stuff. And then at some point, after all these kids are dead,
Sorry about that.
This vacation sucks.
like, it does. Like, that's the movie. This vacation just really sucks. And it's really such a funny, silly movie. Like, I highly recommend this to you guys. If you like horror movies, you are going to die laughing at this movie. I also recommend watching with friends. I personally watched it alone, but I feel like it would have been more fun to watch with other people that like horror movies, because I was sort of like turning to be like, just alone. But if you were watching with someone else, they would have been like, oh, that is funny. You know? So find some friends. I don't know. I just think it's like a great movie for like a party. If you have like people over and you're looking for an interactive movie that you don't have to like pay too much attention to, like, this is a really good one. Like, throw a party, turn on Tucker and Dale versus Evil, get some chips, and you're gonna have a very good time. And that's it, guys. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'm getting dangerously close to 200 subscribers and feeling really good about it. So I put out new videos every Sunday and Wednesday, and they are all horror related. And that's it. Have a nice scream, and I'll see you next week. Bye!